Imagine being invited to a dinner party where everyone is armed, half the guests hate you, the weather wants you dead, and the host's son might skin you alive for fun. Congratulations, everybody. You're in Winterfell after the Boltons.
You want to hear something else?
Yeah.
Imagine you're the bastard who shows up the most for a stream and you're the only bastard not in the intro.
I was going to bring that up after. You didn't do the House of the Dragon one with us that 1 week, and that was the one I showed, but I don't know if you're in any of them, and I'm going to have to talk to Grant about that, because luckily on that one, he took out Nerdrotic, because everyone used to get mad. Oh, Gary's not here. Why is he in the intro? It's because I'm totally trying to use
Stannis in there somewhere. That's all I'm asking.
I just need a bald Stannis.
I'm writing a goat in the background. I don't care.
Fiery goat. Like Thor's goats. Well, Stig is the only king here. He's the only bastard, and he's sick as a dog, and it's perpetual the long night for him. So anybody else?
Well, to be fair, I'm not sick as a dog. Currently, I'm on the mend. But,
on the mend. Thank God.
COVID since the 19th, ironically.
Mm-hmm.
That was when I got sick. So
that's a long one, man. So we've done it before. We've talked about the Grand Northern Conspiracy, but you know what? I enjoy it, and I decided to take it apart, break it down to the different conspiracies, and see if they are at all intertwined, which not really. It just looks like a lot of people most likely hate the freaking Boltons, but there is a thread through some of them. And some of the, George is a great author, and some of the quotes or what he had his characters' dialogue, what they were saying, sets up what happens in future books. Like there's reasons he says what he says, from, like we always talk about, from the very first words in A Game of Thrones. He's telling you what the White Walkers are looking for, right off the rip. But, I'm Scott. This is Sporky News Podcast. This is a Spork of Ice and Fire. That is Stig, the king. The king.
You're still pronouncing my name wrong.
Well, how do you pronounce it?
Stig.
Stig. Yeah, I always say Stig.
Kind of like Steeg.
Okay, Stig. Everybody else says it like that, and I say like Stig, like stick almost, but with a G. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just I thought
it's only been like 7 or 8 years, man.
Now.
Yeah,
that's 7 years for a 4-letter name.
If you didn't know me, it would be like a disrespectful thing, but it's just I am that slow, I guess.
Oh, I don't take any disrespect from it.
I know you don't. I know you don't, because we're Gen Xers. Let's see who's in the chat. Jane Theory stopped by, and guess what? Jane Theory also gifted a Sporking News Podcast membership. So check your top corner. If you're on YouTube, you might have gotten that gift. She did that like a half hour before the show even started. So thank you very much, Jane. She screamed out for Zach. I didn't see him.
She's made it big in the world despite being a bastard.
A bastard. I miss having Jane on this panel when we talk A Song of Ice and Fire, any fantasy. I miss her
Jane is fun.
Oh, she's so fun and she's smart, and always brought like a view, always brought me. I didn't like her on my conspiracy shows because she always had to like destroy my belief in the conspiracy. So I won't have her on those. But on this, totally, definitely. We got 11 Alpha is in the house. He says, I still want to know why Barbary runs Barrowtown. She was only a Dustin by marriage and has no heir to be acting as dowager for. Yeah, I don't know enough of the their like what's going on with her. Like her husband died with Ned, or he died when he went with Ned down to the Tower of Joy. He brought back the horse, no bones, just the horse. And for some reason, we don't hear much more about the rest of the family. Like, I don't know if she just took control, and bumped people up, but people listen to her. She has power. So we'll be talking about her too. Oh, and look who is here. What is up, sir? Hello, hello. I hate how, YouTube is now using everybody's at. Kind of dumb. Kind of dumb. I like seeing people's username. So whatever.
Yeah, that was better when people just had usernames.
Yeah, because if I didn't know E Clay well enough, I'd be like, oh, that guy, the peanut guy, and I'd feel terrible. But we're gonna get right into it. So yes, congrats, you're in Winterfell, everybody. And because in A Dance of Dragons, Winterfell is not a home, not a fortress, and not a seat of power. It's a performance space. It's a castle where everyone's smiling and nodding, but are lying through their teeth while quietly checking where the exits are. It seems to me that the only person that wants to be in Winterfell is a Bolton. The rest do not. So today it's simple. Winterfell is a trap. I believe that. It may not have been planned to be a trap after Ned's death and the Boltons betrayal at the Red Wedding, but it became a trap. And everyone in Winterfell, everyone is lying. The only question is who survives when the pretending stops. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and here's another thing. Will the North be kind to Stannis regardless of what he does?
Right.
Because it could be he wins the Winterfell and all that, and then they just turn on him.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, he brought in wildlings. They hate wildlings.
Yes, but he also liberated most of the North.
Right. But do you think they'll see it as that?
I'm not sure, but that would be one way of completely hamstringing yourself.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I can see is this: if Manderly gets Rickon, they don't need Stannis because that will rally the entire North. Even a fake Arya will rally the entire North. But if we don't have a Stark in Winterfell, now Jon been bleeding out for over 12, 13 years, they will follow him to get what they want. And that's probably, and we know where Stannis is coming from. He wants a united 7 kingdoms. He does not want the North to be its own kingdom. So that's right there. They already, for the last 18 months or so, have been this kingdom of the North. And I don't think they want to give that up.
I'm thinking Stannis might give up the North at this point.
Yeah.
Because he had that JFK thing where, ask not what the kingdom can do for you, but what you can do for the kingdom. That was when he went and, defeated the wildlings.
Yes.
So Stannis has been oddly unselfish.
He's been calculated, though. He has been calculated. Oh, yeah. He knows he needed a win after losing miserably when he should have easily taken King's Landing. It just fell apart on him. He was not ready, for somebody who strategizes for every outcome and is really good on, just pivoting. Look at how he took care of, when he was a master of ships, and ran the armada that he was able to defeat the Ironborn at sea. He's one of the only people we ever hear about in the story that has done that. He's very
And
quick at pivoting, so he did the smart move.
yeah, and Tywin, who's probably one of the smartest people in the books, he said, when the War of Five Kings happened,
Mm-hmm.
Robb Stark was winning and winning and winning.
Right.
Tywin said Stannis was a bigger threat than all the other ones combined.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Well, because
Stannis versus Robb, Stannis would have won.
yeah. Oh God, yeah. Because there's things about Stannis had more experience, decades, but he also had a principle he would not bend to. So I think also Tywin was implying there is a way to get to all these other people. Okay, Robb, we could probably get to him by getting the rest of his living family back. Because Tywin, master at behind the scenes, master at the Game of Thrones. He, no matter what happened, he was writing people. Every time you saw him, he was writing somebody. He was sending messages. He was just working on alliances, working on people betraying. If he thought there was an end, he was going for it.
Both Cersei and Varys were scared shitless of Stannis as well.
Yes.
And I don't think Varys scares easily.
No. Not at all.
Out of everyone in King's Landing, I think he's the least frightened of them.
Right. I mean, when you hear a god talk to you through a flame after someone cut your junk off, you're not really scared of many people, beings. So
did that happen at Summerhall though?
Yeah, there's some questions about that. I want to get to this one right here, and then we'll get back to this, and then we'll always jump off topic because that's how we are, because we let it go where it's going. But I like what 11 Alpha brings up because we all talk about this many times. There must always be a Stark in Winterfell, maybe because their blood is the only thing preventing great darkness. I also believe if there is a Stark in Winterfell, there may be a chance that their blood keeps the others out of Winterfell. The minute there is no longer Stark in Winterfell, the others can conquer the North and get whatever prize possession is at the lowest bottom tier of the crypt.
Well, yeah, I think there's something about the Starks that's protecting something at Winterfell.
Mm-hmm.
I think the North will fall regardless because the White Walkers will just move around Winterfell.
Yeah.
Also, it's not preventing some kind of a disaster, but maybe there's something in the crypts that would be very bad if the White Walkers get to.
Yes. Because people are like, oh, it's the Horn of Winter. No, because they'd already get through the wall. So it doesn't need to be the Horn. There's something else there. There's something very either ancient and primordial, you know what I mean? Or something that will, I don't know, the last hero's sword, something that will give them just an overpowering in the fight for night.
Well, what if the Horn of Winter is supposed to tear down the wall and all, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if it also strengthens the winter? So every time they blow the horn, the whole area gets covered in like a hurricane.
It could.
Hurricane. I don't know.
So yeah, listeners, receptionist, hi, it's good to see you. Says you think Winterfell has a wild card. There, again, George doesn't write things for no reason.
Period.
Well, he doesn't write anymore. But when he did write, he made sure we always saw iron swords on the dead's crypts, catacombs, grave sets, because iron keeps souls at bay. They keep them in the crypt. He always made sure we knew that we couldn't get to the lower level and that there's a hot spring that warms Winterfell and the garden. I mean, the man drew us
is
a
it
picture.
Hot spring though, or is it a dragon?
Right. It could be a dragon down there, man. I mean, we don't know their biology. It could have been given birth 500 times over.
There's a theory that there was a dragon, but it's out.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's why Winterfell is burned, because the Ramsay didn't burn.
Right, he didn't burn it. Right.
But when Bran and company emerge, it's been burned.
Yeah.
And you don't just burn a castle like
That
that.
you're going to take over.
Yeah, but still, you'd burn the interior a bit and stuff like
Right.
that.
Not the stone.
Yeah. So there's something.
Real quick, listless. Rob's crown is actually with Lady Stoneheart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but you're right. There's something, but let's start with the first lie. All right, the Boltons rule the North. They and maybe it looks like it, but they have very little power at this moment, even though they have more knights in service to them, because Roose was very smart at the battles, keeping his guys back while he sent every other houses into the vanguard. The guy was a brilliant strategist. And 11 Alpha brings up a great point. In the show, you see it as Roose believing he was doing the right thing because Robb was ruining the North. He was going to run it into the ground. In the books, it's just Boltons always wanted to defeat the Starks. I mean, they wore their skins to try to learn how to ward. You know, like that's why they became the Flame Man, because they would skin Starks and wear their skin to try to turn into a direwolf. It just never worked for him. So yeah, Winterfell looks calm. That's a major lie. It is the most important one too. Roose Bolton wants us to believe he's done the impossible, pacified the North, no rebellions, no banners raised against him, just polite Northern lords sipping wine and saying, "Yes, my lord," through clenched teeth. He realizes that people will see it as they don't love him for what he did, but there is no turmoil and they're all working together. But that's a lie. George immediately undermines this fantasy to us. And it's in A Dance with Dragons, The Prince of Winterfell. And the quote is, "The castle was full of foes." And this is a thought from Theon Greyjoy, who doesn't really have it all together, observing Winterfell. This line exists to show that the apparent unity is a false facade, and the castle is filled with hostile factions vying for power. But they want us to believe they're all together in the castle. But even a broken mind like Theon sees that it's full of foes.
Well, does he see it, or is it wishful thinking? Because he's not necessarily the most reliable.
Correct.
At this point. But
he's
I
just starting to get it.
I have to agree with what you said, though. But still,
yeah,
that is a factor too, that he's not that reliable.
Yeah, he isn't. But it does go to show you that even in his warped mind, he is starting to get some self-awareness of Theon back, even though he's terrified to say it at this point in the story. But it's starting to creep back in because of Jane Poole and what's happening to her as fake Arya. You know, he's starting to become Theon Greyjoy again. And he was a smart kid. You know, he helped Robb win a lot of battles before he turned on him. And the kid observed, and I think he sees these people they don't love Roose like people loved the Starks. There weren't many other than Barbary Dustin and a few that had, she hated Ned Stark, but she still believes, and we'll get to that, she still believes the North was better off with the Starks in control, at the helm. Yeah. 11 Alpha thinks, I prefer my villains to have understandable to them motives. I hate mustache twirling evil villains like Ramsay and Joffrey because they just come across as the author manipulating the reader. Now, Joffrey, we know why he's the way he was. His father was abusive to him, to his mother, never spent time with him. So he was always trying to prove himself to be this warrior man, but he was never taught to be what a knight really was. Ramsay, on the other hand, grew up in poverty, is a bit psycho. So they do have their reasons. the motives is what you're pinning that on, and I agree with you on that. Zach, come on over, man. Jump in if you can. It's been too long. I got this whole week off until Monday, so let me know if you're doing any late nights. Try to jump on. How can you love a guy that lives in a place called the Dreadfort? Yeah, okay. Manderly is loyal to the Starks. The Manderlys may be one of the most loyal. I'll put that next to the Reeds. I would say historically, the Manderlys are the most loyal to the Starks. If you know the story of the Manderlys, they were ran out of the South near the Mander. That's where they get their name, near the river. And they were chased all the way up north until the Starks at the Wolf Den, which is where the Manderlys are based now at White Harbor, took them under their protection. And that was like 1,000 years ago. But prior to that, it was like hundreds of years of them running. And they would not turn on a Stark. And one of my favorite quotes ever is Manderly talking about the North remembers, and we'll get to that too.
You want to hear something depressing though?
Please do.
The odds of the Winds of Winter being released in Martin's lifetime, if you factor in everything, the current page count and stuff like that, 40%.
A whopping 40, huh?
Yeah, and it drops every week.
Yeah.
But you want to know the percentage chance for book 7, even if factored in that there will be less characters and more of them will be by each other and it will be a quicker right?
Yeah.
15%.
Yeah, I was going to say it has to be low.
And dropping. Martin has, according to his word count, well, page count so far, it's written 50 pages a year.
It's unbelievable, dude.
That's low.
Yeah.
50 pages a year.
Yeah. I mean, I was 50 pages a year. I mean, I was a terrible student and I wrote more than that.
Yeah, and he is, I don't know if you've seen newer interviews with him. He's sounding a lot more slow now.
Yeah. And you could tell, you could tell his, I'm not saying he's losing it or his mental factor. I mean, everyone starts to lose a little bit of their edge and that sharpness when they get older, but his reaction is more aggressive now. And that's a sign that, he's starting to lose that ability to like keep it on check, like comes out and blames, gets angry with fans because we've been waiting over a decade. At that time, it was like 11 years for a sequel. And he lied to us year after year that it was close.
Yeah. And Terry Brooks is a few years older. And he recognized that he was starting to slow down. So he had the publisher assign a lady to him to help him finish the books.
Yeah.
So he will be dictating more of it rather than actually writing it.
Hey, Jane, you're back. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. Jane, if you ever want to come back on and just even you can pretend you're somebody else. Change your, avatar. Just come and talk with us. And Sonny Frank out of South Florida. Hello, all from a chilly South Florida. How cold is it?
I'm in Norway. I call bullshit on chilly Florida.
I'm in New England. Yesterday it was raining and about 50. And this morning, the high today, I think was like 28. It's just up and down for us.
I think it's 30 Fahrenheit where I am, but the humidity is at close to 90.
Jeez.
So
it gets really dry here. Yeah, Wayne, I'm with you. The 2026, 2027 season, whatever that means, we're getting
I think Winds is coming as well.
Yeah.
But I am more skeptical about book 7.
Oh, God, yeah. However, I just want to at least get wins. If I get wins, I'll be really happy because I think we're smart enough as a group after 5 years, we'll be able to tell what the ending was supposed to be. I'm sorry. Yeah. We've done pretty well. I'm waiting to see how much we got right in Winds of Winter.
Yeah, it's all the knots in the story will be fixed in book
Yeah.
6, I think, because he's gonna kill off a bunch of characters,
Mm-hmm.
and he's also gonna put a lot of characters next to each other again.
Yeah.
So whenever he does a Tyrion chapter, he can also do a Daenerys one.
Right.
Kind of like what he did with the first few books, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now everyone's spread out. Nobody's next to each other at all.
Right.
So it,
But
it just makes it so much bigger.
yeah, I mean, it's usually this Winds of Winter will be the book. If any of the Song of Ice and Fire showed us anything, this will be the book where most of the stuff gets tied up from the previous couple books. And then, he'll have the scouring of the Shire for the last book, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. But
Well, I still think it's going to be because it's called A Dream of Spring, isn't
mhm.
it? The last
Yeah,
one.
Dream of Spring. Yep.
Yeah, that means winter's still fat on,
Hmm.
and they're wishing for spring. And if it's a
Yeah.
dream of spring, that means it looks far off.
I'll just say this, Jane, if he did do it, he trolled us so well. Cause you know how many times I've gone from we're never getting the books to that he's writing them together. I even was in that camp for about a week where it was like, it's because the times are different. He doesn't want to deal with it. So he's going to wait till he's dead. No, I think he's really stuck in the Marinese knot and he doesn't want to try to figure it out.
I think Jane is correct though, because he is writing both at the same
Well,
time.
he
Because
always does that though.
yeah, he's always done that. And then
Right.
he said when he has enough for a book, he chops it off at
Yeah.
an opportune place, and that was
Right.
what he did with book 5. And he had 500 pages left over after book 5,
Yeah.
which means he's written even less
Yeah.
in the last 10
I
years.
I mean, I can't believe since 20, I think it was 14 or 2016, he told us he was how many 800 pages he had or something like that. And he hasn't changed since. Like it's still the same amount. So, it could be a troll where he's really, almost done with the second book, or it's just there's so many other projects. He spent the majority of his career, the first 50 some odd years of his career, part of Hollywood, part of the author thing, but not the biggest name out there. And then, HBO buys the rights with Dan and Dave, and he blows up and he loves working on everything else. He loves it.
Yeah,
And
and
he doesn't see it like we see it though.
he's
His
high
legacy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
he's high on fame. Listless receptionist though,
Hmm.
he said he's heard a theory that he killed off Kevin Lannister, and now he doesn't know what to do with him gone to move forward. I'll tell you one thing. A few years ago, Martin had what was it, tweeted or whatever,
Hmm.
maybe done a blog post whining about how he there was a character he'd killed off and he wished he hadn't done it because it caused so many problems.
Yeah.
That might be it. Might be
Yeah.
Kevin.
Well, he killed Kevin off because Kevin was starting to get things together
Yeah,
and bring it back to a semblance of Tywin. He was like always in Tywin's shadow, so no one realized how capable he was. Um, but
yeah,
I think he killed him off because he wants that anarchy. But now he realizes, oh shoot, I needed him for a little bit longer. Like I needed him for a little longer.
yeah. Because the only one he could have used to fill the gap would be Jamie, but he's not there.
No,
You know.
yeah,
And Kevin is not Tywin, but Kevin is
no,
also not incompetent.
right. He's capable. He's very capable. Um, but we'll go back. Let's come back to this for a little bit. So, real quick with what we just talked about, peace doesn't mean loyalty. It means everybody is just waiting.
Yeah,
There's no stability, you know. He has it like in containment. Like it's almost like a quarantine zone. No one's allowed in or out unless Roose says so.
it's
So
kind of like a quiet before a storm,
yes,
and it's like you need someone to fire the first arrow, and then it's going to go haywire.
Right. And the ghost might, the and we'll talk about, but the deaths, are what are slowly starting to spark that. But our second lie, the Freys are safe allies to the Boltons. They're great allies. They're safe. They're together. If there is one group of people who said not that should not feel safe in the North, it's the Freys. And yet here they are wandering Winterfell like they didn't violate the most sacred laws in Westeros and definitely in the North where the first men still rule. Is I was about to say it's the hospitality, but it's the um guest rights. Guest rights.
Yeah.
The phrase literally gave them salt and bread and turned on that. And so did the Boltons. Let's not forget that. And being a northern house and a first man house, Roose doesn't fall into this category, but many people think they are now cursed, which they should be. I think that's the story of the Rat King, right? Turning on him. It wasn't
that stuff with Roose Bolton leeching himself all the time.
Yeah.
He seems to be the only one in the North that does that. So
yeah.
Where the hell did that even come from?
Not just in the North. We don't hear about that anywhere else, do we?
Well,
I don't know.
It's been like leeching to help fix diseases, I think,
Right.
mentioned, but not like that guy does it recreationally,
Yeah. Oh man, that's nasty. How you spell leeching?
So I don't know. There's something off about that. There's this theory that he's some kind of vampire.
Got it. Yeah.
I'm not sure about that because it's kind of like Roose Bolton's a vampire and Varys is a merman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with both of those.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Yeah. Brian McCann is a diehard for the merman one.
Yeah.
And the what do they call the people from under the water? What do they call the mer people? They're the squishers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see how many times leeching is referenced in A Song of Ice and Fire.
I don't think it's a lot.
No. Yeah, squishers. Thank you. Listless. Short answer shows up dozens of times, but thematically important reference are concentrated in much smaller numbers. Approximate count 25 to 35 direct references to leeches and leeching across the published novels.
How many of them are
talking about
are talking about Roose though?
Well, let's not forget we have Melisandre when she does the blood their king's blood when she burns the leeches. So that was referenced quite a bit.
And didn't they leech Robert or Ned?
Yeah, Ned's leg. Yes.
Yeah.
Though they don't say it in here, which is weird. Dance with Dragons, it's mostly talked about medical and background uses. Game of Thrones, very few, most mundane medieval medicine. A Storm of Swords, A Feast for Crows, Scattered, talking about illnesses, decay, stuff like that. If you strip away casual medical reference and count only symbolically important uses, the number is much smaller, 5 to 7 times. Melisandre's, blood magic adjacent, connected to deaths of kings, framed as sacrifice. Yeah, but what about
could it be that Roose Bolton actually is sick?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why he's using the leeches.
Yeah,
like he has a blood disease or something.
Yeah,
because he does look, pale, and he doesn't drink alcohol or anything like that. Could it be that that's because he's actually sick?
Yeah, and the leeching
alcohol might kill him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but it kind of sounds like it if you think about it.
Yeah,
it's part of his treatment.
Yeah. So in Dance with Dragons, he applies leeches to himself, uses them as they say preventative maintenance, treats leeching as discipline and control, not healing. No other lord is characterized this way.
Yeah.
Um,
And the
yeah,
fact that he's applying it to himself means it's been because he probably didn't start off doing it to himself, but it's been done so much that he can now do it himself.
I forgot the reason he said he did it, and this is canon accurate too. And now that I see it, because I remember the comment, he says that the leeches keeps his blood thin. And the reason he keeps his blood thin is because he feels like if you have excess amount of blood or thick blood, it makes you more passionate. And he doesn't want to be passionate because passion leads to mistakes and death.
Yeah, leads to, well, boner.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Really. That's all it is. That's crazy. All right. Well, back to our thing. Because I want to get on with the Freys. Because the Freys believe they're safe in Winterfell, and the people around them act like they're going to be safe, but they are definitely not. So, from A Dance with Dragons, the North remembers, spoken by Lord Wyman Manderly to a Frey. This is a direct warning that the Red Wedding has not been forgiven. The North remembers, Frey. That's not an insult, that's a promise. The Red Wedding wasn't just murder, it was a spiritual crime against their gods. Men remember wrong done to them. A Game of Thrones, Eddard 2, Ned Stark reflecting on honor and vengeance establishes that memory of injustice drives future violence. The Freys think they're guests. They're actually walking reminders of unforgivable blood, not curse, but like an assault on a spiritual blood binding contract. Winterfell doesn't shield them. It's keeping them close. It's keeping them in. Winterfell is going to be their grave.
You know what? Also, is kind of you look at all the house mottos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like ours is the fury and growing strong, blah blah blah.
Yep.
It's all about the houses, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Stark's not. It says winter's coming. That has nothing to do with their house.
Nope.
That's a general warning.
Yep. That's a warning for the North, everyone.
Yeah, and you also have that thing in the North, but the North remembers.
Yep.
Same thing. The North remembers and winter's coming.
Yep.
Those are both warnings. Those are not mottos.
Oh no. I know they're declarations too.
Yeah.
Like the North remembers is a declaration of war. It is, we will get vengeance.
Yeah.
We'll play the game. And I got to find it now because Wyman Manderly's speech to Davos is one of my favorite speeches.
Manderly is one of the better characters in the later books.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyway.
Yep. Yeah.
And
he plays the bumbling idiot.
Yeah, but he's probably the sharpest man in the North.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think they had him in the show.
He was in like the last season, and it wasn't really like he was referenced as Manderly, but it wasn't like a major thing.
Yeah, it was just like cameo member Barry.
Mm-hmm. Really, it was.
Manderly is kind of like you know how if a lord is chubby and out of shape and stuff, get underestimated immediately.
Yep.
Yeah, but that fat bastard plays chess, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It's
And
awesome.
All he has to do is tell his troops where to do the most damage, and he's probably better than most lords in Westeros.
Yeah, that's what I love about him too.
So Manderly teaming up with Stannis would be fucking lethal up north.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a chance it might happen.
Yeah. I mean, Manderly is the only one thinking, trying to find, like everybody else accepts that the Starks are dead other than Sansa and Arya, but he's meeting people telling him something different, and he's going to search for the heir.
Yeah.
And not and I thought when I first read the book, oh, this dude wants to be in control of the North, but it isn't that.
No,
He,
not at
he
all.
truly believes the Starks need to be the rulers, and he will defend Rickon until he's of age.
Makes you wonder what else does he know?
Mm-hmm.
Does he that he hasn't told everyone?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking he knows way more about what's really going on in the North.
Mm-hmm.
And what wasn't Manderly? Wasn't that where Ned and Ashura Dane
Yes.
seemingly
White
stopped
Harbor.
by?
Yep.
You know
Yes.
that
Yeah.
that's not a coincidence.
All right. So here, damn it, where is it, man? Oh, okay, hold on. Because it is awesome. We did the last time we did a Winterfell or the Northern Conspiracy, Grand Northern Conspiracy. I started the show with this quote because I thought it was great. So Manderly, and don't forget, he's measured, he's quiet, and you could sense something. You think I have forgotten. Davos is kind of attacking him a little bit because he's looks like he's siding with Bolton in the Freys. And he says, "You think I've forgotten who I am? You think I bent the knee because I believed in the Boltons? You think I welcomed the Freys because I accepted what they did? I let them believe that. I needed them to believe that. My son is home now. He did not die by accident. He died, or he did not die by accident. He did not fall in battle. The Freys murdered him. They murdered him beneath my roof, beneath guest rights, beneath every law that makes men more than beasts. I smile for them. I toast them. I played the uh, obedient Lord, but do not mistake silence for forgiveness. The North has a long memory, Davos Seaworth. We remember our kings. We remember our oaths. We remember our dead. We remember the red wedding. Everything you see now, the kneeling, the feasting, the pledges, it's a performance, a mummer's farce played out so the guilty feel safe. That farce is almost finished. I do not want gold. I do not want favors. I want what was taken from us. I want my house made whole. I want my lord returned to Winterfell. I want my king back in the north. The Boltons rule only because the world believes the Starks are gone. Bring me the boy. Bring me the Stark they forgot. Let the North see him. Let them remember who they are. And then we will see how long these lies survive the winter. And that's not even the whole quote. It's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah. I
It's
was
awesome.
rereading the old series last year, I think it
Mm-hmm.
was. And you know, when you read the books two or three times, the fourth time is more research, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
But Manderly stood out
Yep.
as highlights of that book because,
Yeah.
like I said, it's one of the best characters.
And he ends it. The North remembers Lord Davos. And it's not being nostalgic. It's a freaking warning.
Yeah,
Like that is a warning. The North remembers. It almost makes me think, you know, him doing that is the same as saying winter is coming. It's a warning.
yeah.
Just they forgot what that warning was about. Yeah, right, Jane. I want my king back. Oh man. I want my lord back, and then he says king. So it's like they want the Starks back as lords of Winterfell, but now he even wants his young wolf back. Um, you
Well,
know,
if Davos manages to get Rickon back,
mm-hmm.
um, Manderly is gonna help Stannis
Yeah,
because Davos will have
yeah,
given him what he wants,
yes,
100% what he wants.
yep,
And I'm thinking that could be like the domino that really wrecks the North,
mm-hmm.
in terms of and yeah. But
It's going to be a
funnily enough,
power.
though,
The
if
vacuum's going to be sealed, man. You know,
also if we look at the Norse mythology, Stannis is based on Forseti, which is the god of justice
Hmm.
and laws, and he's supposed to right the wrongs of the land before Ragnarok. So that would be exactly it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Because that's where the wrongs are located.
Hmm.
It's in the north.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh man, I lost my spot. Where was I? I had a part where the North was it? No, I talked
You know, uh, listless receptionist says Manderly wants Rickon on the throne,
Mm-hmm.
well, throne in the north, uh, but he doesn't think he would side with Stannis. I think a lot of it hinges on if Stannis will give up the north.
But I don't think he will.
Um, I
There's
don't
a
know.
chance. There's a chance. You know,
Yeah,
after he loses so much to get what he deserves, will he be willing to give up the North? Depends. You know,
and
again, he doesn't. He bends, but he will break. He won't. He won't bend. He's the
well,
iron. You know.
I think he has bent
Yeah, I know.
because Mance Raider's alive.
Hmm.
That's Stannis being bendy.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Very true.
he's also given lands back to northern houses,
Hmm.
which he wouldn't have done if he thinks he owns them. But he gave it back to the Glovers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And uh, I think Stannis actually has been bending a bit.
Oh no, he has. He's just very pragmatic, man. He realizes that he knows what they're up against,
Yeah,
and
and I think he knows it way more now. What's north of the wall?
yeah,
Because he was talking to Mance Raider. What was it for?
for hours.
Yeah, and days and days and days. And I'm like,
Yes,
about what?
right,
You know, the wildling attack.
right.
That's all over and done with.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I got to stop once again because Jane gifted another Sporking News podcast membership. Thank you, Jane.
She is so rich.
Yeah, and the real Nick got it. The real Nick Nero. Good to see you too, Nick. Haven't talked to you in a while. Um, but yeah, the thing with Stannis, and I think there it is. Stannis is pretty practical. He he is practical in certain ways and strategic in certain ways, and like I said, could pivot on a dime certain times. But when it becomes other things like the kingship, he will not bend on that.
Yeah.
It is his by birthright, you know, and he
Well,
believes
it's
it
not just that, it's his by law.
by law, and he's all about the law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about justice and the law to a fault.
Yes. Very, very true. Um, and he would never be able to wait a minute, I just realized chat is on screen. Yeah, it is. You like that? And I bring it up because I love you guys. It's hard to know what Manderly would do right now. He's on the inside and Stannis is in the cold. No, but he said to Davos, "You bring me my lord Rickon, and we will accept Stannis as king." I mean, he's laid it out, and I believe Manderly is a man of his word.
Yeah. And didn't Stannis warn Manderly about some treachery?
That does sound kind of right. I know Stannis warned a lot of people. He
Yeah.
warned Ned, you know,
Yeah. He did warn Ned.
and with by letter, but still warned him.
Yeah.
Did Stannis? Very generic question I asked. But let's see.
Also, when Stannis is away from Melisandre, he's more competent,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, because in the I think it's the Theon excerpt thing for book 6.
Mm-hmm.
One of his men wants Stannis to sacrifice a couple of people
Yeah.
to the Lord of Light because there's they're cold and stuff,
Yeah.
And Stannis says he's not sacrificing anyone, so they just have to start praying harder.
Yep.
That's what he says.
Okay.
So it's like he's slipping that bit
Yeah.
as well and
Well,
becoming more maybe what he should be.
yeah. Well, you have Stannis never openly says something to him, but he does say Wyman betrayed the Freys. I think in a letter. But he never actually says it, but he signals to Wyman that the Freys and the Boltons are the enemies of the North, and Stannis is the instrument of the North's vengeance, which I love how to put that.
Yeah, it's like a catalyst.
Yeah, because if you don't notice, when he's in the North and he's south of the Wall now, he's in the North. He always emphasizes and makes sure people never forget the Red Wedding was treasonous. The Freys and Boltons broke guest rights, which I don't even know if that's something the Stormlands holds very dear. I believe they may.
I think Stannis
It's just
despises what happened
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
because
Um,
Stannis might do a lot of stuff,
mhm,
but he's reactionary. If someone betrays him, they burn,
yeah,
right?
yep,
Unlike in the show where he just burns them anyway. But in the books, he burns people who betrayed him.
yes, yeah,
He does not just execute people for
no.
nothing.
And we see that also in the sample chapter
Yeah,
for the Winds of Winter. Like he uses kind of the Lord of Light's vengeance to his. I don't think he believes in. I think he believes because he has seen some of the things like the leeches and then these kings dying. Um, the shadow baby, his brother dying. Like he knows there's a power out there, but like you just said, the farther away he is from Melisandre, you know, he realizes he is a man, he is a king, and that's what he knows. He'll
yeah,
leave
and
all the rest to her.
he had that really awesome thing where he exposed the traitors.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, if you confess, I'll behead you. If you don't
Right.
confess, I'll burn you.
Yeah.
And I see a listless receptionist says his followers will bully him into burning Shireen. No, they won't.
No,
Stannis
I think
can't be
that's going to
bullied.
happen because she's not with him,
Yeah, because she is all the way up at the wall.
with her mother, who will.
Yeah.
She would
So
burn her if Melisandre told her to.
so if Stannis wins at Winterfell,
Mm-hmm.
he's not going to head back up to the wall. If he loses at Winterfell, he's dead.
Yeah.
So I don't think I think Shireen is going to be burned, but I don't think it's going to be Stannis who does it because Stannis told his men that it could be that he's going to lose at Winterfell.
Mm-hmm.
If that happens, it's their duty to put Shireen on the throne.
Right.
So he's not going to sacrifice his bloodline, I
Nope.
think.
Nope. Yeah. And the funny thing is the one thing he says to the guy, Matt Mason, I forget the guy's name, that he sends to the Iron Bank, the Bravos. And
Yeah.
he says, that's why I think he might have had something to do with the pink letter, because he's like, you will hear that I have been destroyed. I've been defeated. Like
Yeah.
he already knows that propaganda is going to be out there. Is it
Yeah.
him putting it out there? I don't know.
Yeah. 11 Alpha, I'm going to debunk something for you. And this is in the first book, is one of the first chapters. King's blood has nothing to do with declaring themselves to be a king.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Nothing at all. It has everything to do with blood from old Valyria.
Mm-hmm.
Because Viserys says it to Daenerys. So it's established early on. It's Valyrian blood.
Yep.
The which is Targaryen blood as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the Danes, I think.
Yep.
And House Baratheon has some of it.
Yeah. Anybody who has that ancient Valyrian blood.
Yeah.
Which a lot more to have it than you would know. I mean, you have people in the north that have it because they were married into Targaryen princesses married to northern lords.
Yeah. So if Theon Greyjoy said he's a king or something like that, it wouldn't count.
Good to see you, Teresa. Oh, Kirsty, what's going on? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Going to a funeral? Oh, Kirsty, I'm sorry to hear that.
My
I hope
condolences.
everything's all right.
So
Um,
anyway, King's blood is Valyrian blood.
yeah. Now, I I I thought about that and I agree with you. But could King's blood also be the blood of the Starks that they got from the Ward King because it has
Um,
magical power?
well, remember, I don't, I'm not sure if you remember this, but I did like a long thing in the group chat about how the Targaryen storyline
Hmm.
is biblical, and it's the end of days, while the
Okay.
Westeros one is the Ragnarok thing. It's just
Right.
combined.
Right.
King's blood is seems to be metaphorical for the blood of David,
Right.
and so basically, Jesus had that bloodline. I think
Hmm. Yes, he
that's
did.
Rhaegar, and then after Jesus, you're gonna have the Antichrist, and then Jesus will return as a
Yep.
warrior, as Azor Ahai.
Azor
So
High. Yeah.
yeah, and ironically, there is an Azor in the Bible in that bloodline. I kid you
Really?
not. Yeah, it's just mentioned a little bit.
Oh my God. I'll have to look at
He's
that.
before Jesus though,
Right.
but it's King's blood is well, blood of Jesus, blood of King David.
Yeah. King David,
Yeah,
which is a good show. If you ever watch it, I can't remember this, what it's on. It's on
yeah, and
some weird streaming surface, but it's
and
good.
and also it's inspired by, not based on. Just to be
Right.
clear.
Inspired by. Yeah. Not, yeah. Yeah. Right. But if you've seen, it's called House of David, I think that's really good. Check it out. Um, I just want to get back to this so we can uh, pretend like we actually. I like that we don't keep on topic, but I like that I wrote it down now. I start writing it down so we can get back to it. Unlike older
Sorry for
streams,
sorry for
right?
railing.
Dude, that is our MO, bro. We are good at that. But another lie. Roose Bolton is in control. I don't know if I started this one. Um, so Roose believes, okay, so I have kind of two here. Roose Bolton believes fear equals order.
Yeah.
But that belief defines everything he does. And it's the most dangerous mistake I think he's making.
Well, he's not that wrong either, because remember, it worked when there were dragons.
Yeah, different. That's definitely different. You're right.
Yeah.
But George reminds us that fear is not loyalty, fear is delay, just like the dragons. It's delay. Okay, so Lord Bolton's rule was brittle as ice, a dance with dragons, the prince of winter. Theon Greyjoy observes signals that Bolton's authority looks solid, but is ready to fracture under pressure. The word brittle, the Lord Bolton's rule was brittle as ice. That means something. It's very, just like with the dragons, everybody, it was just delayed. It wasn't loyalty. It was, they delayed until the dragons were gone. And then people started acting up big time.
Brittle ice shatters.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's what we see happens to a certain sword in the prologue of book 1.
Yes. Yes,
It
we do.
shatters.
A young Royce's sword. So the one thing is Roose understands North intellectually because he's grown up there. His house has always been there. He knows their history. He knows their grudges. He knows they fear him. And so he convinces himself that fear is enough, that if men are afraid to rise, they must therefore be loyal. But George is very clear about this distinction. Fear does not create obedience, it creates patience, which I love. Here, hold on. Where is it? So, yeah. Fear makes men wait. Fear makes men smile. It makes them sharpen knives instead of drawing them. And fear works, but it's brief. So that word brittle means something. Ice looks solid right up until the moment it shatters, right? Roose is calm, careful, and intelligent, which makes his situation worse because he knows the danger and still underestimates how fast it can turn on him. He
Yeah.
rules Winterfell the way one holds a snake, carefully, briefly, and never safely. Boom. Then we'll get into Ramsay. House Penrose descends from Prince Eliana Targaryen. Apparently not enough to save Sir Courtney Penrose. No, that was all. It's not the amount of blood, it's the connection, I guess, you make with that dragon. I almost feel like if the dragon and you have a certain personality, like if you're full-blooded Targaryen, you're going to grow up with that dragon in your bed. You guys are going to kind of connect that way. But as like a dragon seed, that dragon connects with you because of both of your personalities, I think. Like if it's an angry, war mongering dragon, it will look inside that person and see if they're the same.
Yeah. It's like King's blood slash Targaryen blood, whatever you want to call it. Well, I guess it was King's blood first, and then became Targaryen because it's the same. But it's like that blood contains an alchemical component.
Yes.
Not found anywhere else.
No. Listless says something here. She said, I think the Danes have blood that's even older than the king's blood. They have first men's blood, but there's something about their blood because I don't think there's any Targaryens married into their house, but yet they have the violet colored eyes, sometimes a silver streak in their hair. So they have some first men that were in probably from the same region.
It's from the Great Empire of Dawn.
Yes, 100%.
And House Dane, I think, is the only leftovers of that empire.
Maybe even direct, like directly from that.
What's Arthur Dane's sword?
I think it's called Dawn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big hint right there.
Yeah. What comes after the darkest of night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's a long night, dawn would be a light bringer, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Preston Jacobs did come up with a good DNA theory. Man, sometimes it's hard for me to listen to him because when he gets all political and stuff, but I love his theories. And the DNA one where the chromosome is passed through the female line of the Targaryens, I think that's what it is. The Dragon Rider chromosome or something. Yeah, I haven't watched that one in a long time, but that's a good one. Oh, well, yeah, she married into the Targaryens. I don't think the Targaryens married into Starfall, went to House Dane. And Maekar was only what? That Maekar is Egg's dad, right? Is that who we're talking about? Right, Maekar is Egg's dad. Anyway, their blood, their eyes and hair and stuff have been that way for thousands of years. Yeah, I think. Would you agree? Dane blood is as potent as Targaryen blood. May even be more potent because it's direct.
Yeah, right? Because Viserys says it's the blood of old Valyria.
Mm-hmm.
So the Targaryens just happen to be one of those few surviving houses from old Valyria.
Right.
Interesting, though, that it looks to be the Children of the Forest tried to extinguish that whole bloodline.
Yeah.
With a certain Doom of Valyria.
Yep.
I'm thinking there's definitely something going on there.
Yeah, you can check out our live stream about the Great Empire of the Dawn. They are way before Valyria. So it goes Great Empire of the Dawn, then Yi Ti, then Valyria. So Great Empire of the Dawn had I don't have that map up, but they had a crazy amount of the land in Essos. It was like from the five forts. Yeah. So the five forts, which is all the way past Asshai, like north of Asshai, but even farther than that, they had from there past Valyria, I believe. Yeah, Maekar's children have Dane blood. So, if that's Egg's line, then that's Danny. Danny has Dane blood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Daenerys.
Daenerys. Oh yeah, Dane. Oh, never thought of that. Lisa says, in my headcanon, there is an argument that Danes could wrangle a dragon if they wanted to.
Well, if Ashura Dane and Ned is true,
Mm-hmm.
then it'll fit with John.
Yep. On to the next lie. Ramsay Bolton could be trusted.
No.
Every Northern Lord understands one thing. Ramsay Bolton makes long-term loyalty impossible.
Yeah.
So again,
he's way too erratic
yeah,
and impulsive. He's not dumb.
no,
but he is cunning for the sake of being cunning a
yeah.
lot of the time.
He,
He still had the best kill in the whole damn series,
which one was
where
that?
he killed the chick and dug her shit out.
Oh yeah,
and smeared himself with it. I'm like, I was reading
dude.
that. I'm like, who the fuck does that? That's
Well, I wonder, does Ramsay play the crazy role, or is he crazy but also lucid enough? Like he's also smart enough. He uses that craziness to trigger other people. Like he gets everybody off their game.
I think it's both because his craziness,
Mm-hmm.
he actually does it.
Yep.
It's not just a rumor that he's spreading. He actually does it.
Yeah.
So he's 11 Alpha just said Ramsey is the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
In a
I was
way.
just about to say it, that he's like the Joker.
Yeah. And Michael Bolton too. He's crazy. No, you're right, E. Clay. Ramsay Bolton. All right, so he makes it impossible, and all these quotes come from Theon. I think he's having like an internal dialogue in The Prince of Winterfell from A Dance with Dragon. He says, "A mad dog is a danger to everyone. Ramsay Snow was a monster in human skin. He would never be safe so long as Ramsay lived. Men feared Ramsay Snow, and fear made them lie." Like, there's so many things. Ramsay made sure people knew he was crazy enough to do anything, that
Yeah.
they do fear him. But see, when you go that far, it actually, the fear then changes into, we need to get rid of him. Like, like you actually push people to action, because Ramsay isn't just cruel, and to himself he isn't unpredictable, but to everybody else he is. And an unpredictable man is a terrifying, cruel man.
Plus, he also continues to do unpredictable stuff and completely psychotic stuff.
Yeah. So how do you ally with somebody like that? You can't. Yeah, you just, because he's going to self-destruct or try to kill you.
Yeah.
His presence does something fascinating politically, though. It unites people who hate each other against him, which is kind of interesting. So not through friendship, people become allies. Through fear of Ramsay, people became allies.
Yeah. Which didn't something similar happen with the Mad King?
Right. You're right. You had, well, and a lot of people think that's what part of the Southern ambition was for Rickon Stark, was to get all the houses kind of together, because they no longer had dragons, but they ruled like they can get away with anything. So, they were trying to, I think really what they were going to do was allow Rhaegar to become king, but with the condition they would back him if the king lost some power. I believe something like that had to happen. But next lie. All right. Next lie is the North has accepted Bolton rule. This is the moment the mask comes off, not publicly, not loudly, privately. Wyman Manderly doesn't whisper because he's afraid. He whispers because he's honest. My son is home. Again, what we were talking about before. from A Dance with Dragons Davos 4. Uh, then it comes the truth behind my son is home. The Freys murdered my son. And finally, he says, the North remembers, Lord Davos. The North remembers, and the Mummer's farce is almost done. That's one of my favorite lines in the whole series.
Yeah.
It's not subtext. It's not a confession. This loyalty for them is like a costume. Winterfell is the stage, and the audience is waiting for a final act, and it's going to go off. I can't wait for those chapters.
George Martin said the battle in the snow and the battle of Meereen
Yes.
would be resolved in the first few chapters of the book.
It's going to be mayhem, dude.
And I'm thinking the Battle of Winterfell would serve really well as a prologue chapter. You know?
Well, no, because you would have to have the battle at the lake first. You're going to have the battle at the lake because you
could rush through it. It's like have some kind of survivor, dying outside of Winterfell in the snow. That it went so well. We won at the lake, and then
they opened the doors and
then we barely won at Winterfell or something, and then it croaks.
Yeah. I can't wait for because he's setting it up for them to think the village is, because there's so much snow, the village is where it is. He has lights where the lights would be in the village, but it's actually on an island in the lake. I love Stannis. He's one of my favorites.
He also, Martin pointed out that the gargoyles at Winterfell are crumbling. Gargoyles are there to protect. That's a hint.
Yes.
Winterfell is about to fall. It's no longer protected.
Right. There has to be a, Stark and Winterfell. And that goes on to my next lie. The Starks are gone. Bolton power only exists right now because people believe the Starks are finished. The male line has been destroyed. The only male alive is, the commander of the Night's Watch. So he can't take the, Stark leadership. The one daughter is married to a Lannister and disappeared. And the other daughter is married to a Bolton and being.
Benjen.
He's missing. And also a brother of the Night's Watch. So it would take a king's decree. That's why Jon could accept Stannis if he believed him to be king.
Well, Benjen looks to have not been turned into a Night's Watch member willingly.
Right.
So if Stannis offers him what he offered Jon, legitimize him and get him out of the Night's Watch and all, Benjen would take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in book 1.
Yeah, you could tell.
Because he doesn't talk to Ned. He tells Jon to talk to the Maester.
Yeah.
And have the Maester talk to Ned, even though Benjen is there. Benjen never communicates with Ned.
Yeah, well,
he does it on the show,
but not in the book.
No, they're restrained.
100%, dude. And you know why? Because he allowed it. He allowed it to happen. He allowed Rhaegar and Lyanna to leave. And Ned, I don't think ever forgave him and forced him to take the Black. Because he could have easily started a offshoot house, like the Karstarks. Nope, you're taking the Black. Get the hell out of here.
And then Benjen flat out manipulates Jon into taking the Black.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Remember when you figured that out and we read it and it was like, oh my God, it's so obvious.
Yeah. He's doing that. Benjen knows Jon's parentage.
Yes. Has to.
And I think it's Ashara Dane and Ned. And that there is a big FU to Ned. Getting his son sent to, the wall.
Right.
Where Ned sent Benjen. So thank you. Now you have to do it with your son too.
Yeah.
FU.
Yeah. It's crazy. But and George, the idea with the Starks in Winterfell, George makes it abundantly clear that there has to be a Stark in Winterfell. So um George never lets it sit comfortably that there isn't a Stark in Winterfell. When the snow falls and the winds blow, the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. Ned teaching his kids in Game of Thrones about unity and family loyalty. The Starks were made for winter. Game of Thrones brand one. Winterfell is the heart of the North. Game of Thrones, Catelyn 2. Catelyn Stark explaining Winterfell's symbolic, but it's not symbolic. It is the heart of the North, where the sword was plunged into and came out burning to kill the night, to kill the long night.
Well,
Winterfell belongs.
do we know that
No,
it
I
happened?
believe that.
Because that story is from
uh,
Essos.
Essos. I think the last hero, right? The last hero, the first hero, excuse me, went to Winterfell. I think that's where he found, or he was a proto Stark. Something about the the first hero was did something with he was either a proto Stark or he ended up in Winterfell, and that's where he got because he was looking for the children to get a sword. You know what I mean? And why is there so much heat and steam and this and that coming from the land? Because it's the heart. It's the
Well,
heart of the North.
here's the Nissa thing.
Mm-hmm.
What if Nissa wasn't a person? It was a dragon. You stick the sword into the heart of a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Dragon's blood.
yeah,
Flaming.
but we kind of know who the last hero is.
Mm-hmm.
It's Cold Hands
Yeah.
because Old
Is it
Nan,
is it the last hero or the first hero? Last hero, right?
the last.
All right.
But
I was saying first. I'm
could
sorry.
it be the last and the first are the same?
Yeah, I think so. I think
I
so.
don't know. But um, Old Nan is telling Bran,
Mm-hmm.
book one, about the last hero and how he was chased. He was a member of the Night Watch,
Mm-hmm.
and his men were killed, and he was being chased by the White Walkers north of the Wall.
Yep.
And
His
later
dog
on,
died, horse died.
yeah, and then the children of the forest say that they, the others, killed him a long time ago, right? And he's the only one north of the Wall that kind of fits with kind of legends and stuff. And he speaks the old language. He's wearing
Right.
an old Night Watch armor, all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. And the last hero is tied to Bran because Bran is the only one who's told that story.
Yep.
And then he meets him, and
Mm-hmm.
as I'm pretty sure it's the last hero.
Yeah.
It would be so interesting if it was also the first,
Yeah.
because then he can tell Bran
What
how
what
to
he
make
did.
Lightbringer,
Yeah. Freaking
maybe.
it's kind of poetic and kind of sad that the hero who saved us from the long night is now being controlled because he was probably killed in the act of saving us from the long night. He was then, resurrected or turned by the children of the forest to live pretty much forever.
Well,
Like,
here's another weird thing. Cold Hands, when they're outside Bloodraven's cave,
mm-hmm,
he describes the interior of the cave to Bran,
right.
but he
But
can't
he
enter.
can't go in it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So he must have been in there when he was
Mm-hmm.
alive. And now it's warded against the undead, so he can't go in.
Mm.
He has been inside that cave
Yep.
before he got killed.
Yep. I never
Uh,
thought about that.
yeah, that's because George made a big point out of Cold Hands describing the interior of the cave. And then he
Yes.
says he can't enter,
Yep.
right? So what the heck? That was definitely on purpose.
Yeah.
That there's a
It's
hint.
interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to finish this one. That's a good one, though. Let's think about that. Because Catelyn also says, Winterfell is the heart of the North. Winterfell belongs to the Starks. There must always be a Stark in Winterfell, a belief that underpins Northern loyalty. Rickon Stark, we know he's alive. Um, they believe they're all dead, but Rickon's alive. He's small, feral, and he's forgotten, which makes him perfect for Manderly. Bring me the boy, he says to Davos in A Dance with Dragons. Rickon doesn't need to rule. He just needs to exist, because the moment a Stark physically presents themselves in the North, every polite lie stops being useful. A living Stark turns whispers into permission for houses to admit that they always believed Winterfell is the Starks, permission to refuse the Boltons' orders without sounding like traitors, permission to treat loyalty as what it really was, a survival mask. It's a social avalanche. One real Stark in the room forces every lord to choose a side in public, and the Boltons lose that one thing keeping them afloat: plausible deniability. There are no more Starks.
There's one thing that kind of bothers me about the Rickon thing.
Mm,
Rickon's wolf is named Shaggy Dog.
right.
In literature, a
Yes.
Shaggy Dog story is a story that goes nowhere.
Right. But
It's actually a thing. It's a red
could
herring
could
that
we
goes
be
nowhere.
could it be a subversion?
Could be, but
Wouldn't that be awesome if he's actually the hero? A
it,
4-year-old kid? Because he's what, 4.5, maybe 5 now? And he's riding on a unicorn? That'd be great. Oh, we got a plot twist from Alpha. Plot twist. Barbary Dustin is actually Jon's mother. He's Brandon Stark's bastard. That's why she hated Ned, not because of William's bones. Requires Ned to be more Machiavellian than canon thought.
it's not the worst theory
No.
I've heard. Not at all.
Yeah, I like that.
I still think it's Ashara Dane and Ned though,
Yeah,
because
I do too.
uh, Lyanna and Rhaegar would be too damn obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And there is that thing in one of the first chapters where Ned tells Catelyn harshly to never mention Ashara Dane again.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And
And
that
again,
timeline with
it's weird, right?
Ned traveling with Ashara Dane and stuff,
Yep.
it lines up too well
Too
with
well.
everything.
For Jon to be older than Rob, it's perfect.
Yeah.
They try to escape from the Vale to the north. Everyone just assumed she was the daughter of the captain on the boat who died, you know?
Yeah.
And and being a lady of, one of the larger houses in Westeros, she understands political marriages too. So
Yeah,
she knows that Ned's not like betraying her. He's doing what he has to do.
I have a theory about that because basically what happened, Ned was forced to marry Catelyn.
Yeah, forced.
And it was already with Ashara Dane,
Yep.
right? So someone else, well, Ashara Dane gets handed off to someone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Howland Reed,
Yeah. You've brought
because
that up before.
Mira Reed looks like a female Jon Snow.
Yes. Yeah, they look just alike.
Yeah,
So,
and
and who would Ned trust with the woman he loves, knowing he can't be with her?
the guy who saved his life.
The only guy, yeah, the only one left that's really one of his true friends.
Yeah, and Jojen does not look like his sister.
No.
And here's a fun bit. Jon and Mira Reed are born within the same year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. But they don't
And
say anything about Jojen, right?
And George Martin said there was a hidden Stark.
Yes.
Yeah. And
yes.
And why the hell is Mira even in the story?
Right.
Jojen's probably dead, is in the paste.
Yep.
But she's with Bran.
right, and like, oh, like she's now his like bodyguard in a way, but like also more his moral compass, not to get
And
lost into the trees.
she's also as protective of Jojen as
Hmm.
Lyanna Stark was of Benjen.
Right.
So it's like a family trait there.
Yeah. Yeah. This, I always thought the same, like, why did Howland send his kids? But it
Yeah,
helps with that if she's an actual Stark and now you need to protect your family and get them where they need to go.
and when Mira says she's protecting her brother,
Yeah,
is
she's,
she really talking about her half brother Bran?
yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, because that would be a nice little twist,
And
and it
let's
would
not
mean
forget,
it was always there.
yeah, and twins are kind of important in this story, like,
Yeah, and twin births very dangerous during
could kill
times.
you, could kill you.
Could
Promise me, Ned.
make
You
for a
know,
bloody bed.
it could. All right,
Don't.
so let's think about that one, but we're also going on to one of the final lies. Um, Northern houses are loyal. The North is full of sworn men and very few believers, and
Yeah,
George reinforces this again and again. Men say words, and words are win. Clash of Kings, Catelyn 4. Uh, a lord's word is only as strong as the men who believe it. A Storm of Swords, Jamie 1.
yeah.
Some vows are written in ink, other in blood. A Feast for Crow, that's Brienne. Brienne contrasting uh, performative vows with vows that demand actual sacrifice. Again, Tyrion 2, A Clash of Kings, words are wind. And we get that so many times. Words are wind. I think Ned says it. There's quite a few references to, even if you say the words, they mean nothing unless you put something behind it. So oaths here are placeholders,
Yeah.
you know?
But here's the thing, it's different in the North
Yes,
because they actually believe their
believe,
own.
right. But this oath to the Boltons is a lie.
Yeah.
They had to because they don't believe the Starks are there anymore. So for right
But
now,
the
the
oath
smile,
sworn to King Rob
right?
was not hollow.
It was not, and there is Rob's will still, and Howland Reed has a copy of it.
Well,
And we're
do we know that Howland has a copy of
yes,
as well?
yeah, because Glover and the female Mormont went to treat or whatever, meet with Howland Reed, and they were there. If they don't have a copy, they were present for the will, so they know exactly what's in it. But I thought they had the will. It's either them or Lady Stoneheart has. I think she has the crown. They have the will, and she's kind of moving that way towards the neck.
Yeah,
Um,
she's kind of trailing the will.
yep. But this is one of the first times we actually see, once that Stark control for 10,000 years or however long they've been leading the North. Um, this is the first time you see oaths are just placeholders. These guys are smiling to delay the inevitable. Their obedience is just a strategy against the Boltons.
You know what
Um,
would be a perfect prologue chapter for the next book?
mm,
Howland Reed
yes.
atop a hill watching the Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could do so much with that.
I mean, he is like one of those key. He's one of the most important characters, and that's why we haven't met him yet, because he could tell us everything. And I
Yeah.
think, with Howland Reed having probably, let's not forget, Howland Reed met Lyanna Stark and her brothers. They defended him against squires. Where was Howland Reed before he met them? He was on the Isle of Faces for a few months learning from the Green Men.
Yeah, I think he's the only one in recent history that has actually been there.
Yeah, it was what's his name during the Dance with the Dragons is the last person I can think of. and that was
Damon,
no,
wasn't it? He
I don't
crashed.
no, it wasn't Damon. It was what's her name's husband. Didn't what's her name's? Well, Damon might have lived and ended up on the Isle of Faces when he crashed into the God's Eye. But what's his name? Oh God, the guy who died and was killed for Princess or Queen Rhaenyra was married to him politically. They didn't have children. Her sons are strong boys. What the hell is his name? He's from Driftmark. Someone will help me on that one.
Yeah, I've lost track of all the names,
I know, me
especially.
too. He's a Valerian, but I can't remember his name. Not Corlys, but Corlys' son. He's one of the last people I believe that's been there. And that was what 200 years prior. But yeah, Howland Reed just comes off of spending a lot of time on the Isle of Faces, which is rare for anyone, and happens to cross paths with some of the most important characters in this story. Laenor. Thank you, Teresa.
Could it be that Duncan Egg might have gone there without
We
off
may
the
find out.
record? Because that would certainly fit well with their journey's
Yeah,
story.
right. Just taking a boat across the God's Eye and they by accident end up there because of a storm or something. That'd be great. And I after doing this research on the Grand Northern Conspiracy, I'm telling you, the Prince of Winterfell chapter with Theon, he's starting to become Theon again because he even points out the thing about the loyalty of these men. He says, "Men smile and sharpen their knives." So they're smiling to the Boltons, but they're ready. So no one wants to move first, but everyone is ready to move.
Based on George Martin's words earlier and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
the odds of Howland Reed physically appearing on page in the Winds of Winter
Mm-hmm.
is 85 to 90%.
Wait a minute, say that one more time.
The odds of Howland Reed showing up on page
Oh,
in Winds of Winter
yeah.
is 85 to 90% certain.
Yeah,
Based on,
I would say it's 99.
yeah,
Just where?
Martin has said that uh, he is too pivotal
Yes.
to save all the way to the final
Mm-hmm.
because it would feel like a cop out. That's
Right.
his words. It would feel like a cop out if you just tosses him in the final book to exposition,
Right.
which means book 6. It's almost a given. However, he has said he will not have him as a POV character
Right.
because he simply knows too much. It will
Right.
just be revealing everything.
We can't see inside that head. It just wouldn't help.
But he has been mentioned repeatedly for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, that's right.
Martin's not putting him in book 7 as his first appearance
Right.
because he has said that would feel like a cop out, which
Right.
pretty much confirms him for Winds of Winter.
He has to. He has to. 11 Alpha clarified it wasn't Laenor. It was his bastard Adam of Hull who landed on the Isle of Faces with sea smoke. And I don't know of anybody else after that up until Howland Reed. I got another lie for you people. Winterfell protects the ruler and the people inside. But it's when you're reading the novels, Winterfell is this great fortress. But when we get into A Dance with Dragons, he starts writing it like you're trapped, and he makes it feel smaller and smaller. So here are some of the quotes that he wrote, though. Snow fell thick as a feathered bed. That's Theon telling us that. The snow kept falling day after day. Food was running low. No one trusted anyone. The snow was halfway up the wall. Like they weren't able to get out of it. Snow was making some of the ceilings collapse that weren't made of stone, that were made of hay and straw and stuff. The snow is making people isolated. Snow is starvation. And the snow is removing their options. You know, so the Winterfell has become that trap where you're either going to go all in with the Boltons or you're going to try to destroy them because you guys are trapped in this little box. Food is running out. You know, space is getting tighter. It just, you have to choose a side, I think, at some point. So Roose is not protected, and it's trapping him. He's trapped with enemies, people that hold grudges against him, like Barbary Dustin, not against Roose, but against Ramsay. Barbary Dustin hated Ned Stark, but loved Brandon Stark and respected the Stark rule. The one person she hates more than Ned Stark is Ramsay Bolton for killing Roose's legitimate son, who she fostered for years. So these grudges are not helping Roose, and the food supply definitely is not. The walls aren't safe. They become prison cells. They're boundaries of some sort. Normally, Winterfell is designed to survive the winter, but it can smack you if you're not ready, right? And like you said before, Stig, when Theon took Winterfell and then Ramsay took Winterfell, they burned massive sections of it, which were, I don't know how normal fire could have done that, but they didn't have enough time to repair Winterfell the way it needed to be to stock it. They really picked a terrible place. You know nothing, Scott Snow. And her brother also died for Ned. You're right. Another lie. Stannis must be loved to be used. Northern houses don't need to love Stannis Baratheon. They just need him to break them out of this, well, of something, anything. I was not made to be loved. A Clash of King, Davos 1. That's Stannis speaking to Davos, acknowledging that fear and duty, not affection, define his rule. A king should have a hard hand. Again, Stannis explaining that to him in Davos 1. Stannis isn't the savior. He's the justification to overthrow the Boltons. The moment he becomes useful, the lie of loyalty can finally end and they can overthrow the Boltons. But he is not loved in the North. The minute there is a Stark, he better side with that Stark because he'll be screwed if he doesn't. Another lie. Or no, whoa, my final little wrap up on this thing. When the trap finally springs, here's a truth. Everyone was lying until winter forced honesty. So the trap doesn't spring with banners. It springs with silence, with men deciding the lie costs more than the truth. The North remembers. Winterfell was never meant for liars. Winterfell, because there is not a Stark, became that trap because everyone inside is lying. And winter is when people stop pretending, start getting real. That's from a MTV show, The Real World. But it's true. The winter forces honesty because you need to, if you are backing someone and saying you are bending the knee to this person, you better damn well be sure you trust that person and think they can get you through winter, because winter just started and they're already screwed. Stannis is just the cops, Jane says. He's the law and order, and the Boltons are the bandits or the bastards. So I did have another little section, and I'm sorry. I don't know what I did with it. It was I had it right here. Where are the factions? Because there is quite, when it comes, people call it the Grand Northern Conspiracy. That would mean all these groups were working together. Now, there are different groups. Okay, so you have the Manderlys. I don't know if he's working with any other house. You have House Umber. who I believe it's the Umbers, right? They split into two groups. You got Horsebane and one with the Boltons, one with Stannis. But the Boltons know they can't rely on them. You have House Glover. Historically, House Stark loyalists, displaced and punished under Bolton rule. So they have no incentive to back the Boltons. They also they're waiting for permission to flip on the Boltons, I think. But them and the the Umbers, I believe, were the ones that Ned told to build ships, right? So where are these ships? We haven't seen those. Mormont, they're Stark loyalists. They refuse to legitimize the Bolton rule. You have House Reed. We know where the Reeds they stand with Ned and his kin. House Serwyn, they are quietly complying. Traditional Stark bannermen keeps their heads down with Bolton occupation. So they're not enthusiastic over Bolton rule, but they don't really speak out. They survive coups by waiting them out. They're kind of that group. House Dustin and Riswell are the ones that are a little tougher, because you have Barbary, who hated Ned, but she openly speaks out against Ramsay Bolton too. She dislikes the chaos that this has brought compared to Stark rule. So she is not pro Ned Stark, maybe not even pro Stark, but definitely doesn't think the Boltons are the long-term solution. And then you have Riswell, which are kind of conditional allies because they're linked to the Boltons through marriage. They're loyal. They're loyal to like a stability, not to like ideology. So if the Boltons can make it stable and life go back to normal, I think they would stick with them. But they would probably abandon the Bolton rule if it becomes unstable or untenable. They're survivors. Car Stark, they're kind of fractured. They're a wild card, I would say. Some members support the Boltons openly for what Robb did to their lord, beheading him after they killed two squires from the Lannisters, because Catelyn Stark, that bitch, released Jaime Lannister. So I don't know where they stand. Where do you think the Karstarks stand?
I don't think they'll serve any purpose much more after this.
Right. Me either.
I think they were a springboard for Robb.
Mm-hmm.
Incidentally, one wolf in Norse mythology, which is tied to treachery and winds and stuff, is supposed to swallow a sun. What's the symbol of House Karstark?
House Karstark is the sun, right? A black sun.
Yeah. And a wolf is supposed to swallow it, and he's tied to treachery and wind. A gray wind? Really? Before Ragnarok. Another one is supposed to swallow a moon, which is a wolf of hatred called Hati. The Faceless Man door has a moon above it, and Arya is very much a wolf concerned with hatred.
Mm-hmm.
See how it kind of fits?
Yeah. I just want to quickly, I'm sorry, Mad Mardigan's in the house, talking to Jane, inviting her on his show. Whatever. Really cool of you. Thanks, buddy. If we find out Ramsay killed Bethany Bolton, Barbary's sister, and Domeric's mother, who supposedly died of illness, is that the one he married and forced to like eat her own hands? Was that Bethany Bolton? You missed my other chat where I said I'm sorry I couldn't be there. Oh, did I? Oh, skirt, what's Gucci, my ninjas? Sorry, couldn't be there. I had to get stuff ready for Mad Pap. What are you guys talking about tonight, Mad? Give me a commercial. Because we're pretty much done here. When do you start, Mad? It's what, in a half hour or so? Real quick, the Freys are in the north. That no one trusts them. They're just waiting to kill them when the Boltons lose rule. Stannis is that external pressure. He's a catalyst, not a conspirator. He's not involved in this grand conspiracy, but they will use him to get, he's the hammer, right? They'll use him to get what they want. So I don't think there is no single council plotting against the Boltons. Instead, we could think of it this way. They have a shared memory of what Stark rule gave them and what now they have with the Boltons. Okay, real quick. Mad in a half hour is talking about the great bag of flour in American history. Greatest bag of flour. That's exciting. That's exciting. What's that red dust stuff again? You let your friend get killed by Indians for? I can't remember. Yeah, so I don't know. Everyone's lying. Everyone's waiting. They're gonna use Stannis because right now, going after Stannis, after there was a bit of a brawl, Roose kicked out, I don't know if all, but kicked out Freys. He kicked out Manderly's. I want to say there was one other house, and then also Ramsay is following. So will I don't know, will Stannis beat the Freys with the help of the Manderlys, and then will something happen to them because of Ramsay, or will they defeat Ramsay? I don't know. That's a weird one. But that is it. And we'll let you guys know when a Night of the Seven Kingdoms pops up. We will either be doing the show on Monday night. It's going to be a Sunday night series. We'll either do it Monday or this regular Tuesday night. We'll cover every episode enthusiastically. I'm really hoping it's going to be good because I love Dunkin' Egg. But also in the year to come, in 2026, we're going to be talking different authors. So we'll talk books like Devils and what is it? The First Law, you said, trilogy? Stuff like that.
Yeah, with Joe Abercrombie, the First Law trilogy.
Yeah, we'll be talking about a lot of different stuff. I don't know if anybody's been watching. We will talk about Harry Potter when that starts. And I've been watching. I've only seen the first couple of episodes of the new season with Percy Jackson. What bothers me is that I like the show. I like the actor. He's good at being Percy, but it's really, I'm just watching the second movie just a little bit longer. So I'm kind of waiting for season 3 where the movie's left off. But real quick, we have a super chat from the amazing Jane Theory. House Dustin will not fall. Oh, I'm sorry. House Dustin will not fail House Stark. I believe you on that. I believe we're made to believe she hates the Starks. She just really hates Ned. You know, Brandon was like the love of her life. So she can't hate the Starks. And she has said it. We have quotes of her talking about Stark rule. Barbary Dustin. Barbary. Quotes. Stark rule. Let's see what Barbary has to say. So when we're talking about the good old Starks. So Barbary almost never praised Ned Stark directly, of course. Instead, she praises the order, memory, and stability of Stark rule by contrasting it with the chaos under the Boltons. So to her, Stark rule equals order. Bolton rule is rot. The Starks ruled the North for thousands of years. She tells in one of Theon's chapter, The Turncloak, in a dance with dragons. And why does that matter? Because she isn't mocking it. She's grounding legitimacy in times when Boltons are lacking it, I guess. Um, so like she kind of makes it, she reinforces, and I didn't make this up, I'm reading this part. Stark's rule was a natural thing because it was for so long, while the Bolton's rule feels temporary to her. She also says in the turncoat, it was better when the Starks ruled. Um, she talks about, I think she's the one that says the thing about a young maiden could walk down the King's Road in her birthday suit, or whatever they call it, birthday suit, during Stark rule and not get assaulted. Lords knew their places, order existed, there was a pecking order. People tried for solid millennias to knock the Starks off, like the Boltons did, but they were wargs. They are kings. You couldn't do it. You're welcome, Jay. Winterfell belongs to the Starks. Barbary repeatedly refers to Winterfell as Starkland, not Bolton land, even while serving Roose. She treats Bolton control as occupation, not ownership. Language reveals a lot, doesn't it? Like, she may talk with a pointed tongue and she may sound negative, but when you listen to what she says, it's very positive to what the Starks did as rulers. Her hatred is personal. It's not ideological towards Stark rule. It's more, you son of a bitch. You didn't bring back my man's bones. You brought back his freaking horse. Yeah. She fears Ramsay. She tolerates Roose because he appears controlled. He restrains Ramsay in theory, and he keeps order, if only temporary. But she knows it won't last. That makes her not pro-Stark emotionally, but anti-Bolton. Barbary Dustin is the perfect example of my own thesis here. Thank you. You don't need to love the Starks to believe the Starks should rule. Stark loyalty does not equal Stark affection. Even enemies acknowledge Stark legitimacy. Bolton rule survives only through fear and silence. So she's definitely not part of the conspiracy, but she won't stop it, and she won't warn him. I would bet. Even Barbary Dustin, who hates Ned Stark, admits the North was better under Stark rule. That's how weak Bolton legitimacy really is. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'll give you well, we don't have to go into that. We're going to call it a night, everybody. Jane says, though, their loyalty goes back to the beginning of the Northern unification. Yeah. I mean, they were all, if you want to put it, barbarians, Northmen, 10,000 years ago, after the Age of Heroes and the Long Night, where the Starks kept winning. And once they defeated the Ward King, killed his sons and married their daughters, they gained another powerful attribute, which was warg ability. And that's why I love reading about Bolton history, because the Boltons, the reason they became the flayed men is because they would skin captive Starks and wear their skins. So they would skin them alive and wear their skins, thinking it would help them become wargs. All right. You have anything to end on, my friend?
No.
No. All right. Well, I'm going to grab.
It's now the 31st up here in Norway, so less than 24 hours left of the. It's actually 20 hours left of the year on my end.
Well, amen to that. Does Mad Mardigan have trivia? Is that one of your channels? Because no way, it's because it has 25,000 people. Well, happy New Year's Eve to you, my friend.
Thank you.
I'm trying to find Mads.
A happy new year to everyone in the chat, and hope 2026 is great for you, and
Yeah.
that we get Winds of Winter.
Oh man. If we got Winds of Winter, dude.
You know what's ironic? If we don't get Winds of Winter, it would blow.
Mm-hmm. You imagine that?
Yeah, well, remember when I was spot on about how much he had
Mhm.
written, and then he hasn't done a single shit since.
I mean, how long has it been, dude?
I was on the damn page when
You you nailed it.
yeah, but that was like 2 years ago.
He is
So
he's been on the same amount for how many years now?
yeah,
It's really kind of sad. I don't know what I don't even
yeah.
know.
Statistically, he has written 50 pages a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Unfreaking believable, dude.
that's one page every day for a month and a half almost.
That's so it's just it's
That's not a
unbelievable.
lot.
I don't even know like that hurts to hear. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
but
it hurts to hear.
that's the statistics. I mean,
Oh God.
you have 365 days,
Right.
and you read one page for 50 of those days, and then you do
Oh,
nothing,
it's terrible.
and then you repeat that for 14 more years.
Repeat. Repeat. Rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
It's so bad, dude.
He's overpaid.
You think?
Yeah, and you know what else? 2 years like that, right?
Mhm.
Well, the 2.5 years, he would have written like 150 or 125 pages,
Right.
right? That's a Dunk and Egg story.
Yeah. Jeez. That's
Which he hasn't even done that, because he said he was going to write more Dunk and Egg stories
yeah.
because of the show. So that means he hasn't even tinkered with Dunk and Egg in
Mm-hmm.
those 14 years.
Amen to this. E Clay. He's too busy eating nachos and watching the Jets lose. Love it. Guys, I didn't put what it is, but this link right here is to Mad Mardigan's Mad Pap episode 45, The Great American Bag of Flour. Austin Sanctuary Flour. I don't know what it's about, but I have the link to his StreamYards. I'm jumping on. But yeah, what should we talk about next week, everybody? Come back after this is over and please comment below the live stream once it's your refresh and tell me what you guys want us to talk about.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Mythological creatures and characters.
Okay.
Because then we have the Night King.
Yep.
The Last Hero.
Mm-hmm. Zorai.
Yeah.
We could even get into like the squishers and like stuff like that. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. And basically, I feel confident about the Last Hero though.
Mm-hmm.
Cold Hands. And I don't think it's going to be a big deal either. The fact that it is him, because he's such a minor character, but it would be fun to see what's likely,
mm-hmm.
And hell, the drowned god. Is it a real god?
Right. Is the drowned god is the great other a real god? Is R'hllor? Are they all the same?
The great dragon is definitely real.
Mm-hmm.
I think. But
and the dragon under Winterfell. Is there one?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys.
It looks like there was one.
Yeah. Let's just know that let's Spork raid Mad and let him know the majority of his audience is us. I hope you all have a great night. Stieg. Oh, I did it right that time. as always, man, thank you very much. I appreciate you for showing up.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you as well, especially when Jane is nearby.
100%. I agree with that too. Jane, where do you find the best, I don't know, Song of Ice and Fire content?
Where's the best place for content on the World of Ice and Fire?
Right over there. See where I am pointing with my dagger? I just found
Sporking News Podcast with me, Sporking. Make sure you like and subscribe.
All right, everybody. Have a great night. Stieg, Happy New Year, buddy. I'll talk to you.
Thank you.